Hey everybody, how's it going? Barry here. Today we're going to be talking about Tanya. Tanya is the new Capture Festival mod for that's going on right now, hopefully you guys have been having luck catching her. But anyway, let's talk about, is she good or not? First we'll talk about fire, of course, as we pretty much always do. Just scroll down to find her real quick. I should mention, we do have Loop and Dungeon going on right now as well for Gemini. I will be making a video about her. That'll be the next video. Until then, we got this one. So, here we have Fire. Here's the Evo 1, Tanya, Evo 2, Tasha, and Evo 3, Talia. All look very cool. I like the regular for the Fire more because of the pink hair. Very cool, very pretty, super kawaii. Anyway, she is an attacker. She has a pretty decent attack stat for a Nat 3. Her HP is okay as well. Her defense is a bit low, but that's alright. She is a Nat 3, so we're not expecting too much out of her stats. Looking at her skills, so first off, the leader skill, we have Fighting Spirit, attack up 30 to 35% in dungeons, which is okay for her. It's not, of course we would prefer a general content leader skill, but for the mod that she is in dungeons is okay, and we'll get to that in a moment. We'll get to why in a moment. So on her 3-star, she has Wood Predator, 50%, and then skill books give a 30% damage boost, and on 5-star we have Wood Predator again, but this time 100%, and skill books also give a 30% damage boost there. So pretty much she is all about just nuking wood mons. She isn't single target, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately and fortunately at the same time, because with her AoE, she's really good for farming. Most specifically places with wood mons, of course. So story stages with wood mons like Lunar Valley, blanking on other places with wood mons. But then also you can use her, of course, in the Elemental Wood Dungeon. You can use her in GB9 and DB8. Yeah, so those are all very good places to use her. She'll do decent damage, and even with her 5-star, though her attack set is low, that 100% damage boost from Predator is very, very nice. And of course for GB9 and DB8, and the Elemental Dungeon, you can use her leader skill there. So that's another thing to keep in mind. You can also use her in Titans, just as a general wood damage dealer, but of course she will fall off when you get Courageous Strike and Unflinching Strike mons. Her leader skill is not usable there, unfortunately, but her damage will be okay until you get the aforementioned mons that I mentioned. Kind of redundant sentence. But anyway, you can also use her in Wood Colossus as well, just as another damage dealer. She'll be helpful there for you too. And that is also a dungeon, so her leader skill is also effective there. You can also use her for PvP offense, especially with the Nat 1 to 3 League coming out the beginning of next month. We finally got a release date on that, which is very nice, very exciting. So yeah, she can be used there, but only useful against teams with wood mons, of course. That's gonna... Oh, how I would gem her. Just fully offensively. She's not crit required, so you don't need a crit rate gem, but you can build her with crit rate still, so crit rate attack, crit rate attack, crit damage, something like that. Or just go triple attack, or if you want a survivability gem, throw a defense gem on there, give her a little extra boost. That should be very good, very helpful for her. But you can also get your defense from subs. There's no water, Tanya. What am I doing? Anyway, let's move on to light. So let's see, where is she? Now I did get all of the Tanyas last time she came around, but I don't have light or dark anymore because I ended up rebirthing them because I didn't use them. And I kind of regret it because now I'm going to end up making them all over again. But anyway, here we have light. Here's the regular and the variant. I like the variant just because the pink and the light blue hair, very nice, very nice. Anyway, she's an attacker. Her attack set is good. It's a little lower than I like, but it's still a very good attack set. Personally, I just like 3,300 and up, but that's just me being picky. Her HP is really good, though, for an attacker, and her defense is good as well. So overall, she has pretty good stats. Looking at her skills, though, she has Merciless Strike on her 3-star and 5-star, and skill books give a 30% damage boost there for both. Now, for those that don't know, Merciless Strike is a damage boosting skill. It increases damage in proportion to the number of negative effects that your opponent has. And the math for it is, mind you, this might be outdated because I'm looking at a Reddit post that was posted when Tanya was first released. So I don't know if Merciless Strike has had any changes since then. But at least upon release, it gave a 20% attack boost for every debuff that the opponent has, and it capped at 200%. So can get to pretty high amounts of damage increase there. But I should also point out that Merciless Strike is a very niche skill. It's very limiting on where you can use it. Speaking of where you can use Light Tanya, there are a few places. So first off, she really does her best in GB10. Have Light Tanya there with her leader skill and then 3 sappers. She can hit very hard in the dungeon there. I think the reason I'm going to be building a Light Tanya this time around is because, of course, we do have Radis in Rebirth this month. And so a team for GB10 of Light Tanya lead with 3 Light Radis can be very, very efficient with GB10. So that's something to keep in mind. You can use Tanya in other places as well. You can use her in DB7 just as a general light attacker. Same thing for Dark Colossus and PvP. Keep in mind you're not going to really get any benefit out of her Merciless Strike in those places, since debuffs aren't usually used in DB7 or Dark Colossus. Well, you can use defense down there, but it's not necessary. And then in PvP, of course, you have to deal with resist, so there's a low chance that your opponents will get debuffed, so there's a low chance you'll get your Merciless Strike. But she'll still do decent damage just being a light attacker. Then, of course, you can also use her in Titans as a light attacker on the right side so that you get your debuffs stacking on the left side, and she can do decent damage. She will definitely fall off when you get Unflinching Strike and Courageous Strike Mons, just because Merciless Strike can be inconsistent if your other Mons don't land their debuffs. But that is going to be it for Tanya. Overall, I do like Tanya, sorry. Overall, she has a lot of potential, especially in GB10. And how I would build her, fully offensively, of course, crit rate attack, crit rate attack, crit damage, or triple attack. Then you can throw defense gem or HP gem on there for her. And just to keep her a bit more survivable, if you don't have good trinkets to keep her alive, there's Dark Tanya. It's like I couldn't find her while talking at the same time. Anyway, here we have Dark Tanya, the last of the Tanyas, and arguably, probably the best. But anyway, let's give a quick look. So here's the regular and the variant. I like the variant. The variant's color scheme is amazing. She is a defender. She has a good defense stat, good HP stat. Her attack is alright. Nothing special about her attack, but like it could be better, but it's fine. She doesn't need a high attack stat for what she does. Looking at her skills, on her 3-star she has Fearless Taunt, 80% 2 turns. Skill books make it 90% and give a 20% damage boost. And then on 5-star she has Silence, 100% 1 turn. Skill books make it 2 turns and give a 200% damage, which would be amazing. A 20% damage boost. So, where you can use her, PvP. PvP is really the only place that Dark Tanya shines, but she can do very well there. We know Fearless Taunt is an amazing skill. We see it on mons like Light Succubus and... Light Succubus, what am I talking about? Light Miho. And also there's Light and Water Zubaji and Fire Victoria. Those are the most common Fearless Taunt mons off the top of my head. I might be missing one, but those are the most common, I think. Anyway, very good skill. She is just meant to be put on your defense team and just sit there and tank hits. And how I would build her, tanky HP defense would be perfect. Healer set is, if you can get it, Healer set is an amazing set for any Fearless Taunt mons. Not even just for Dark Tanya, for Light Miho, any of the ones that I already mentioned, it is amazing for them. So just keep that in the back of your head. Early game, of course, healer sets are pretty much impossible to get. But as you get later in the game, just keep that in the back of your mind. Healer set for Fearless Taunt. It's a very good mix. My Light Miho is on healer, and she does exceedingly well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Dark Tanya. There was something... Oh yeah, for Light Tanya, I forgot to mention, her leader skill is useful for GB10, which is where you're going to want to use her the most. I really should have pointed or made more emphasis on that. So, yeah. Anyway, how I would prioritize the Tanyas, it's kind of tricky. Originally, I did write in my notes, dark, light, then fire. But just speaking about light makes me like her a little more. So, I don't know. So, dark is really good because she has a solid use. Light is good too, but the thing that just holds her back is that she's very niche. She's very limited on what she can do, and she requires a team built around her, rather than Dark, where you can just throw it on any defense team, pretty much. So, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stick with Dark being number 1, then Light, and then Fire is held back because she's only usable against Wood Mons, whereas, of course, Light Tanya is usable against any element, same with Dark. But yeah, that's going to be it for Tanya's. I do want to mention before the end of the video that I am aware of the whole thing around sliming being removed. Personally, if you're only interested in hearing about Tanya, feel free to click off now. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. If you want to see more videos from me, we will have Gemini coming soon. I'm just going to speak about the sliming removal thing for a minute or two, real quick. Probably won't be too long. Anyway, so I'm aware that it's being removed. Personally, I'm not affected by it too much since I rarely ever slime, just because of how tedious it is. I do think the reasonings behind removing it are pretty stupid. The whole thing about, oh, we just noticed it now. Bullshit. Sliming has been around since the conception of the game, pretty much. I started, a couple months after the game was released, maybe like 4 or 5 months, something like that, and it was already a long known thing at that time. So it's been around forever, and them saying that they want to remove it before it's too late, it's already too late. Yeah, I feel like they are going to lose a lot of players about it, because sliming was the one thing that made this game really free-to-play friendly. And that's something that I really loved about the game. I loved that I didn't have to spend money in order to do well. Because if I ever really wanted to, if I ever needed that last little push to do an extra pull or two for a clan festival or something, I could just slime to get that. And their thing about saying that it's unfair for players that don't do it, it's not unfair because any player can do it. Now, I have seen mention that this is sort of to counter people who bought sliming, and I understand the reasoning behind that, because that is an unfair advantage. Not everybody has access to bots, so that is something that I can understand. And they did mention that they will be they will be working on a different method to, using their words, procure astrogems. So hopefully they will be giving us another method to farm astrogems that isn't as repetitive or tedious as sliming was, because that's why I didn't do it. And of course many others didn't do it for that same reason. But anyway, I'm going to be optimistic about it. I'm going to wait and see what they do. Because, of course, everything else that was in that dev note that they released did excite me. Super Banshee looks amazing. I'm so excited for Super Banshee. You guys already know she's one of my favorite mons. I do have a video on her. and she's in my top 10 favorites. I think she's in my top 10 waifus as well. So I'm very excited about that, and the new 5-star Rebirth Mon Griffin looks amazing as well, so I'm excited for that too. But yeah, it's very, very controversial decision that they made with removing sliming. I'm interested to see what comes out of it, but I know a lot of people are going to just be jumping off the ship at this point, you know. But yeah, anyway, that's enough of my rambling on about that thing, about sliming and whatnot. I didn't want to make a full video on it, because I know that I don't have much to talk about on it, with, you know. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to end it off there. Like, comment, subscribe, as I said, hit the bell. We'll be having a Gemini video coming up in a day or so. And then I'll be getting back to finishing off the legendaries and then whatever. Anyway, that's going to be it. Have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.